Welcome back, folks, to the Mel Wright Show. This is episode 199. I've got my great co-host with me, Robert. We're going to continue our discussion from last week's, folks, about what was the title? This is the crucial point, listeners and viewers. There, your first month as a real estate agent. We went through, they've got 30 points. We went through about 15 of them last week. We're going to finish it off this week. I'm going to introduce you to my great co-host, Robert. Robert, would you like to introduce yourself to the new listeners and viewers?
I would love to. My name is Robert Newman. I'm the founder of Inbound REM. It is summer in Van Nuys. I'm extremely excited to be here with John and be talking to all of you who are brand new into your real estate career and looking for some advice on things that you should get doing. What John and I have done is we took the #1 search result for what should you do when you're a new agent, and we found the article there. And we're basically doing our own kind of review, captioning of that article. And I'm really excited to get back into it. We made it 1 through 15 through our last internal show. And today we're going to do 15 through 30 on our new show, or not our new show, on the second part of our internal show on this topic. Wow, I messed that up.
No, it made some sense, Robert. It's better than some things I've come out with. Sometimes my listeners and viewers are probably well used to it now. Bless your hearts, listeners and viewers. We appreciate you a lot. So how are we going to start? Shall we just do a recap or just the ending bit? I think we got to around number 15's about. I think we discussed open houses, offered to show homes for agents, shadow other real estate agents. I think we got to number 16, didn't we? Attend agent caravans. Do you want to talk about that, number 16?
I do actually. So the reason that this list is taking us so long is that we both have a lot of personal anecdotes and opinions on this. And I actually have... I'm very blessed to consider one of the most well-known agents in the world as a business acquaintance. I'd like to consider him a friend. He probably would agree that we're friends. His name is Christoph Chu. And I learned something interesting from him.
When you get him on the show, though, Robert?
Well, we already talked about it. He said he'd come on, and then I don't know what happened. He kind of stopped responding to my emails. He's a busy guy. It's hard to get him pinned down. These agent caravans. So I would have thought that a guy. So Christoph is at the top of his career. He's been doing it for many, many years. He sells anywhere between $60 and $100 million of real estate every year, which puts him somewhere in the top 100 of agents in the country almost every year. So imagine my surprise when I'm talking to him and he does not ever miss these listing caravans. I know agents all over the country that have nowhere near his success who speak poorly of these agent caravans. Christoph's opinion about this is that...
Oh, I think before you do that, I think you want to explain to the new agent what they are.
Oh, okay. So a caravan caravans are where agents from your brokerage or maybe even a combination of brokerages basically go around and look at new listings that are hitting the market. So brokerages basically say, okay, we have 30 listings and 15 of these are new. So we want all of our agents to be able to see them. Instead of just agents kind of piling by any particular day, the listings are open on one day and everybody can come by on that particular day. Tuesdays is what is common across the country. So
funny enough, Chase, the best well-known one in this area of Northern Nevada, is one done by Chase International, where they show all their high-end properties that are available in the Lake Tahoe area.
Okay.
Normally they do that in July. It's probably coming up. It's quite entertaining. You see some amazing properties. I mean, amazing. It's a good day out, actually.
I believe it. So anyway, here's the thing. Christoph said, like, has a very strong opinion. How are you supposed to sell something or respond to questions if you don't have an intimate knowledge of the inventory? I agree with them. How are you supposed to know? And I don't care if you're selling $1 billion homes, $1 million homes, $500,000 homes, $300,000 homes. I don't care if you're selling tract homes that in theory are supposed to be the same. I think that you need to put boots on the ground and look for weathering on window frames, rose bushes in gardens, jacuzzis in backyards, spa tubs in bathrooms. Because if you have all those details on lock when you speak to your client, finally get in the car, I deeply believe it increases your chance of a sale, number one. And number two, it qualifies you to represent. You are technically saying, I am an expert in these things, and this is the most important decision of your life. My expectation of a real estate agent is that they're going to know the tile count of the house that I'm thinking of buying for $600,000. John, what do you think?
I think you're spot on. I think, this is exactly the type of stuff you got to do to counter those that just want to replace an agent with artificial intelligence or Bolt or whatever. And this is from somebody that's immersed in WordPress and web development design. It's my bread and butter. It's how I make my living. But, I just feel like you, I think we're on the same prayer sheet, really. Your company's about web development, design and SEO, but you think, it's just taken too far, isn't it? But to counter it, you really got to know your local property and the properties that people are going to ask you questions about, aren't they?
Yeah. And I feel strongly about this. You have to be an expert. I think everybody has the right to demand that a real estate agent is an expert in the inventory. And I think these caravans on Tuesdays is a good way to get good practice on becoming an expert in the product that you're selling. And I don't think, I love the fact that Christoph is so successful and still hits them every single time they're available.
Did he tell you why he does it?
Yeah, for exactly the reason.
Because he's experience, he's very experienced in that particular market area. So, but why does he still feel?
Because he gets a lot of calls. He gets calls from people all over the world.
Right.
And when he does, they expect him.
Yeah.
They ask him questions about, so what's available in Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
And he likes to have not like a new listing came up a week ago. He likes to be able to say, well, I went and saw a beautiful home this last Tuesday with a lovely garden, so on and so forth. And I agree with him. He says, I put my feet in that house. I can tell you anything you need to know about it. Yeah,
totally understandable. Totally the right attitude. That's why he's successful, isn't it?
Right.
Still does the donkey work.
It's also, by the way, why he doesn't, as far as I know, negotiate on his commission and other things. Because unlike many real estate, some real estate professionals don't earn it. Others, like Christoph, earn every single penny. They deliver the service that they're being paid for. Their commission is earned. They don't send. He doesn't send his assistant to do this work. He goes and does it himself.
I think he should, all the nice things we've said about him, I think he should sponsor this show.
I know.
English flippers.
I know. It's terrible. And the funny thing is, he and I have never done any official business before. We've just been meeting. I just like
that was pure English flippancy there by blessed listeners and viewers.
I can't get him to sponsor me. I don't think he's going to sponsor the show.
No, I don't think so either. But you still got to tease, haven't you?
Yeah.
Learn everything you can. Take at least one class with your local MLS. That's a challenge to keep yourself awake, isn't it, really? But I think you've got to do it, haven't you?
Yes, I do.
I've been into those, and I literally listened to the stories, top real estate agents. Let's go quickly through this section and then pick up the ones that you want to comment on. So we've got 17. You go to your local MLS, listen to the stories of top real estate agents. review real estate contracts, attend any new agent orientations, and find a mentor. And they've left out the most important one of the lot, haven't they? Listen to the Mel Wright Show.
They did.
Exactly.
And since
how could they, even though they wrote this in 2015 or something, before the show was ever on the air, Robert?
Yeah, it wasn't even here. Agent Caffeine was.
They could update it though, couldn't you?
Agent Caffeine was still here. I don't think it's around anymore, is it? No, it is. She still does it, or she still has the website live.
She still ranks. She hasn't done it since she came on the show. Actually, I liked her. But it's been dead for about 2.5 years.
Right.
So, what did you think of this? Are any particular ones that you want to point out in this particular section?
So, learning everything you can. I took a trip to Spain, as you pointed out, and we laughed about me being a world traveler. But while I was there, I listened to 53 lectures.
I don't leave my house. I just live here in front of my monitors.
I listened to 53 lectures on NLP, which is a topic I already know about, neuro-linguistic programming, which is a mental tactics that I use to achieve the kind of success that I want and do the things in life I want to do, like travel to Spain for 21 days. So I'm a big believer in always be learning.
You've been using those techniques on me?
I'm sorry?
You've been using those techniques on me, Roy?
Every single day.
Oh, there we go.
That's why you're better looking. And,
yeah, more intelligent. This kid, I'm sorry, it's too much flippancy. I'm sorry, listeners and viewers. I'll quieten down. I'm mischievous.
Quiet down. You're starting it.
I'm in a mischievous mood this afternoon. All right. Sorry to interrupt, Robert. Right. I apologize.
Take at least one class with your local MLS. So I agree with that. What to me would be better, though, is get in and have like a family member, your partner, your kids give you like just randomly pick 10 addresses. And then look up those 10 addresses on the MLS and learn as much information about each as you can as kind of like a personal homework assignment. Listen to stories from top real estate agents. So I'm going to change this up. I'm going to say that you can just go. I'm a big believer in the Real Geeks YouTube channel. I forget what they call it, but you just have to do Real Geeks YouTube.
Well, I know another channel which it's got all these episodes on it as well. The Mel Wright Show.
Right, the Mel Wright Show. We're decent. I like us. I just don't like to shamelessly plug all that much. But if you're here and you're
I've been told by some friends that listen to the show that I need to plug more. That's what, and I'm doing it.
You need to what more?
Plug more.
Plug. That you need to plug more. Okay, I get it. I feel you on that. I'm not.
I've been told by my own sources that I need to up my game and become more Americanized.
Really?
Yes.
Is that Americanized? Is self-promotion?
Well, it does seem to go with the territory.
I don't want to be American.
No. Well, you're kind of I don't know how to put it, unique. But shall we put it that way, Robert? Right. Right.
All right. So review the real estate contracts and practice writing contracts for single-family homes and condominiums. I think this is a good idea. Even better if you can offer to do some grunt work for a busy agent, do some of their paperwork for them, not as their assistant, but as literally as number 21. I'm going to capitalize into that. I have mentored, God damn, I don't even know how many salespeople over throughout.
Well, I think it's a bit linked to what you said in the previous section about going on the caravans. Having some awareness. I know a few agents that even been in it more than 2, 3, 4 years. They know bugger all about the documentation, and they literally have to bullshit when they're asked some detailed questions. I really want, if I was an agent, I really want to put myself in that position. So knowing something about the contracts, how they're written, being able to answer the questions without looking like a dickhead, I think it's rather important, don't you, Robert?
Of course. I mean, anytime that you're in sales and you're signing a document, you got to know about the contract. In the
Really?
discussion, I don't. I mean, for me and the sales teams I run, it's a non-starter. Don't know the contract, can't sell the product. And like like I said, full stop. If a contract gets handed into me and it looks like a salesperson doesn't know what he's doing, I hand it back to him and say, you know, I'm not going to take this until you fucking know what you're doing.
Yeah. I think the last one, find a mentor, not easy to say. Finding, I'm not talking about buying a coach. They're two totally different things. Funny enough, I was listening to the last episode of the Water Cooler. Chris and Jimmy weren't on it. They had one of their lady on it, and they was interviewing a very successful real estate agent. I did ask her to come on the show. I haven't heard anything back from her, actually. But they were talking about the importance of coaching and also finding a mentor. I really do think if you can find somebody that's prepared to mentor you, that's got some experience, that which it could be enormously helpful, can't it, Robert?
Yes. So, guys, I was in the midst of saying something, and John, God bless his heart, moved off in a different direction. So
I apologise. I didn't mean to do that, Robert.
I'm going to go back to it, which is when it comes to the paperwork, because we were talking about paperwork, and I said, hey, you can offer a seasoned professional to let you help them. This would be a good idea in finding a mentor, which I believe in. If of all these things, I think that number 21, my success in my career, I can name my mentors, Lenny Goldsmith and Billy Halberstadt. I've had more success because of two men in my life than anything I can relate to. These guys took the time to really sit me down and teach me what it was to be an exceptional leader and an exceptional salesperson. And I don't even know how much money that helped me make over the span of my career. The challenge is when you find an amazing mentor, they want to teach you, but time and energy are always in limited supply. So if you can offer something to them to make the mentorship easy, take some of the minor tasks off their plate, be a gopher, anything. If you see somebody that you really think is a rock star and you think that maybe there's some small possibility they might be willing to teach you, come up with a list of things that you can do for them as well, which make it all that much more likely. And then maintain your side of the agreement meticulously, because there is no way to add a price tag to knowledge that's going to feed your career for the rest of your life. Like there's no, like what the gift is that you're being given, it's beyond calculation.
Yeah, totally agree. We're going to go for our break, folks. We'll be back. We'll be attempting to finish this off. We've got to really, because we've got a great returning guest next week. We'll be back in a few moments, folks. Coming back. I'm a little bit confused, actually, Robert. I didn't tell you something. I splashed out. I bought an enormous monitor.
Okay.
I've got like a 36-inch monitor in front of me now.
Okay.
And I'll be mucking around with this, and I'm on a techno high, Robert. It's rather tasty, this monitor. Hopefully it's going to increase my efficiency. You never know. So on we go, on to create a plan for the future. This is something which personally I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible. I write nothing down. I think it's partly down because I suffer from a bit of dyslexia. And, but, you know, I get the odd bit of grammar on my emails, but I kind of communicate reasonably effective, don't I, Robert? But I've never been a great one for writing all this down. I kind of play it by intuition. And I think it's a weakness of mine, to be quite truthful. I think having some plan, it never goes the way you write it. You know, it's a bit like planning a battle. As soon as you get into the battle, everything's up in the air, isn't it? But having some idea where you're going and what you're doing is important. What do you reckon, Robert?
Well, actually, guys, 21, 22, and 23 are the reason that I really got all hot and bothered and wanted to review this list to start.
Hot and bothered.
Yes, hot and bothered. Because, guys, I think that as a new real estate agent, for all of those listening to the show, hear me on this. I think that if you're walking into your business without a digital marketing plan, you are setting yourself up. There's a handful of you out there, and that this number may be 5% of you, 5 out of 100, that have previous sales experience, that can knock on a door, pick up a phone, call an expired listing, feel completely comfortable doing it. And you have a built-in, baked-in marketing strategy for your brand new real estate business. The other 95% of you, and this is perfectly reasonable, you're not coming in as an extremely experienced salesperson. You had other experience. Maybe you were a teacher, you were a parking lot attendant, or you've been in school and you just graduated with your brand new real estate license, and you've never actually, you've had jobs, but nothing that you would define as a career. For all those people, for the other 95%, the question is, how are you going to market yourself? And most people these days are going to say, you should do that online. So some people would say, I'm going to draft a business plan and I'll just include in there, market myself online. Bang, done. That's so wrong. When you're building out this plan that they're talking about here, you need to decide and do the research up front that says, what social platforms do you think you should be on, if any? Are you going to build yourself a Google My Business profile? How are you going to get what is it that somebody's going to be able to look at if you decide that you're going to send them to someplace online? And what can you get started with that's very low or zero cost? You start asking yourself all these questions, then the next question should appear, which is, am I actually going to market myself online? And what does that look like? You can do a great marketing job with just creating content, which is zero cost. But you need, whether you decide to do that or whether you somehow have money or you're going to finance your business on a credit card and go out and buy marketing services from the moment that you decide that, that you get your license, one way or the other, you need a business plan and a digital marketing plan. You can put them together and call them one plan, but you need to have a solid, concrete idea of how you're going to leverage the internet in your new real estate business. John, what do you think?
I think you're totally right. I think a good resource for this is the Paperless Agent, run by Chris and Gary. They do some free webinars, and they've got some freebie material on their website. I've just gone to their website. I'm going to put it into chat for my beloved co-host. Funny enough, their website, I think their secure socket certificate is expired because it's unsecured now. And, they need to sort that out. But they do some great webinars. I've asked both of them to come on the show, Robert, and I've just heard crickets. I might give either one of them a buzz on the phone and try and persuade them, because I know they're in the same area, but I don't see us as direct competition. But I do watch regularly some of their stuff, and they've got some great free resources when it comes to writing out a plan and then the stuff you've just mentioned. So I thought I'd just mention that to our listeners.
That's awesome. Listen, I honestly, so John pokes a lot of fun at me, but guys, this is the only podcast that I listen to or watch. Following SEO and keeping up with it can
it's a full-time job, isn't it?
Is a 100% all the time kind of thing. And I oftentimes fall behind in that endeavor. When I'm reading articles, I'm always reading case studies on SEO and inbound marketing, always, consistently, no doubt about it. Neil Patel, Ahrefs, I've got this long list of people that produce content, search engine marketing. I probably have 5-6 different content producers I follow. I just don't have time for anything else. So, John, I love this recommendation. I wish I had something to add. I don't. Please check out this Paperless Agent. If he says it's good, I know it is. And I think that anybody that's offering tools to brand new agents is awesome. And you can also probably find some good tools at Easy Agent Pro. And
they do. Actually, I think, is it Gary? I think it's Chris. Actually, they've got an actual blueprint It's a book. It's but you can buy it for $12 for your Kindle, and it's actually gives you a whole digital plan.
Really?
And I downloaded it, and I agree with it. It covers a lot of the stuff that we've been discussing over the months. They're on the same prayer sheet. I think it's if you go to Amazon, I think you can download it for your Kindle for about $10 or something.
What's it called?
I think it's the Blueprint, Blueprint something. Maybe if you put the Paperless Agent Blueprint, it might come up. I'll make sure it's in the show notes, folks. Right, so you'll be able to go.
There you go. Yeah, he'll catch you up, and how to become a paperless agent. I don't know. Anyway, he'll figure it out when later on. So outline your goals, 22 and 23. But I don't want to move off this.
All right. Yeah. Keep going.
Okay, because in my life. And when I talk about this, everybody's going to, my whole vision for myself, this right now and this business, I didn't know what business I was going to be in, but the vision for my life, it was created for me 10 years ago. And I'm living it and breathing it every day. And now I have a vision from 10 years longer. I meditate on my visions or my goals, as everybody else would refer to them to, every single day without fail. And if I have one secret to my success...
I meditate as well, actually, Robert, especially with a glass of Jack Daniels in my hand.
I knew you were going to say something sassy in English, man. I knew it. I just knew it. You couldn't help it. I start to talk about the hippie shit. John can't actually stop himself from being English for 5 seconds.
No, it was very, very English. That's what I've been told. The listeners want more Englishness from me. Well, and they love the way you react to it. They just love it. Absolutely. I've been told they absolutely love the way you react to my English. And they say I've got to do more plugging. I've got to become a little bit more American at certain bits.
Plug away, John. You whatever you.
Buy Mailrite. Go to actually we're actually looking for some testers because I've developed another load of new functionality and it needs testing. So I'm prepared to do a special deal. I'm looking for a couple young agents that are looking to get some decent leads, basically get everything for free, and we also help out on the campaign costs as well for the Facebook, Google campaigns. But I just need a couple of people that are really up for it to test it out. So even Robert might be able to find a couple of agents for me. I don't know, but he's a busy man. But if that sounds like you...
I can send out an email for you, man, and then you'll get overwhelmed with requests.
Nah, I don't want that. But just go to the Mailrite website and hit up the support, the contact us page, and then maybe we can have a chat, or you can even book to have a chat with me on the website. And if we think we're a good partnership, I've just kind of expanded the functionality. I can't burden the existing clientele with testing it. That wouldn't be right. So I'm looking for a couple of people. So back onto the subject. Outline your you're laughing about. Why are you killing yourself?
Oh, you are on one today. Okay. So listen, guys, just to recap, John's looking for a couple of beta testers for his product. He's going to give it to you for free. He's looking for newer agents. So that means this show in particular and probably the last one. Today's date is June 13th. I think it's safe to say that the beta tester window will probably be open for 2 weeks. So if you've listened to the show or listening to the show between June 13th, 2019 and June 27th, 2019, reach out to John and get access to his awesome set of tools. All you're going to have to do is provide him some notes as you use them. And for that,
thank you so much for saying that. Actually, he's done a much better job promoting my own product. But that's just the case. That's what people have been saying. I'm not a great promoter of my own product, am I, Robert?
I'm not gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole. What I will say is that what John is offering you is worth a few $1,000s. You're getting it for free, which plays almost beautifully into my comment about being a new agent and what we're talking about right here. I'm always going to say, look for opportunities to promote yourself for free, look to produce content for free. And even though this comes up very rarely, this is a perfect example of yet another thing where you can get access to a toolkit that you'd normally have to pay for, but you don't in this one case. So if you think you want to try like a content management CRM system, this is a good opportunity for you to do so without the cost. Now, there is time involved.
Yeah.
With all these things, you have to be aware there's time. So you have to ask yourself, do you have the time? Because if you don't, then you shouldn't do it. But if you have some time, then you should reach out to John, and you should help him, and he will help you. All right. Outline your goals for each week. I think I've covered this, but guys, I can't emphasize enough before John just went on his merry way and plugged his product. Goals are really, really super important. Do these goals like every single week consistently.
Yeah.
I think that it's probably the most important thing on this entire list is having a strong vision for your business and then focusing on it once a week, every week. I would say every day. I don't think I think that weeks. I think that's naive. I think you should have a goal and you should look at it every single day and say inside your head, I have already done this. Attach a lot of emotional importance to it, and then say that it's already done, because you'll be surprised how your subconscious mind will maneuver your actions into such a way that everything else on this list will get accomplished for you in a seemingly mysterious way.
Yeah, I think also they were discussing this in the water cooler as well with their agent interview. They're avoiding what I call it the figure of eight. That's how I call it. It's the dips and highs. It's basically, if you don't do marketing, the lead generation dies a bit. You get so busy doing the service that you're providing for the leads that you've got, you don't do the marketing. You can get into a kind of vicious pattern. What you need to do is be realistic. There's certain parts of your marketing strategy which we touched on. Listen to Robert's advice about having that plan. It's something I'm terrible at. So you don't want to listen to my advice, folks, but listen to Robert. Secondly, you've got to have the time allocated to do so much marketing. Yes, sure. When you get really busy, you might have to cut back a little bit. But if you cut back completely, you're going to get into this vicious circle of eight, as I call it. So fundamentally, be realistic. Get up earlier in the morning, and that's when you do your videos. That's when you do your social media. Maybe that's when you do your 1 or 2 blogs a month for your website. But, you know, I personally think it's more realistic to get up early in the morning before all your clients get up, or do, if you're a night owl, you know, do it late at night where the phone's, you know, you're not available. But you need to mark off some consistent time to do your Facebook, plan your Facebook posts, boost some of these open houses you're going to do, plus do some videos. You know, also have some time during the day, during the week, where you're going to do some live video on Facebook. You've got to have a plan and stick to it as much as you can, and don't get kind of, you know, totally wiped out by the pools of client. It's not easy, is it, Robert? Easy for us to say, hard to do, really, isn't it? But it is really important, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But John, I think it's time that we go. I would like to do about 5 minutes of bonus content today.
Yeah, sure.
The bonus content is there is some secret messaging inside Building Better Agents, which is another thing that kind of got me really hot. As John will tell you, I am not a big fan of like hidden marketing tactics. I like to put my marketing tactics right out there and let the consumer decide. So let's wrap up this part of the show and then move on to the bonus.
Will do. But first of all, a really important part. How can people find out more about you, Robert, your knowledge, your products, and what you're up to, Robert?
Holy shit. Now you're going to force me to be American and plug myself. All right. So here you go, guys. You guys ready? Everybody got their pen and piece of paper? You ready to go? You ready for the 800 number? You ready for the fucking Cuisinart and the other little things that are coming after it? No, I'm sorry. You can find me I'm kind of on one myself now. Thanks, John. It's inboundrem.com. I'm the founder of my own marketing company, my own blog. I've been in the real estate marketing industry for 12 years. And if you want to learn more about me, just go to my website and look at the About or Services pages. You can learn plenty about what me and what my company does, or just look at the blog if you want some good marketing advice.
And he's got some fantastic articles there, which I'm going to up my game in the next month as well. I'm not going to plug myself because I'll be merciless all through the episode. All I'm going to say is we've got a great product. We love you to come on board. Go to the Mailrite website, have a moosie. If you think it's your cup of tea, you can book a session with me where I show you all the functionality, and then we can discuss your requirements. What more can I say? We'll be back next week. You'll be able to see the bonus content on the Mailrite website with the whole episode, or our YouTube channel, where we've got almost near to 200 interviews with some of the leading experts in real estate marketing online. What a fantastic resource. I think we're going to end this show. We'll see you next week. Where we're going to have a
bonus. There's bonus.
Oh, yeah, we're going to keep on going.
Oh, okay.
But they'll be able to hear that on the YouTube channel or on the website.
Gotcha.
But we're finishing the podcast part.
Gotcha. Okay.
We'll see you next week, folks. Bye. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I always confuse you a little bit when I say it's just the podcast part of the show that we're ending, Robert.
Gotcha. So here's the website, guys. We've been reviewing Building Better Agents. That's the site that we've been doing. It's like the #1 blog post for.
Actually, I've really enjoyed the past couple of episodes. I know I've been a bit outlandish this one, but at least I woke things up a little bit, didn't I? But I think we covered some great stuff in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
actually, haven't we?
Because we're historically so stuffy. Okay. All right. So here's the end of this article. So I've just shared my screen. The thing that I noticed a long time ago, long before this podcast with Building Better Agents, is that it's a website that's built by somebody that is a broker for EXP. And the whole damn thing is actually just content that is designed to get you to be an agent with EXP. Including, by the way, this list, because they do 23 kind of basic tips. And
I did notice that, but I wasn't going to bring it up. I thought you chose it. So I thought that's my English kind side.
I chose it because I was hot about it. Like I didn't, and it's #1. It's not like I chose the 5th thing down the page of Google and said, oh, let's pick apart that. I'm choosing the #1 Google result and saying, it's the #1 Google result, but hey, so the last 7 things on the list are basically be an agent at EXP. We're awesome. I'm going to say, while it's still a good piece of content and there's nothing wrong with it, I much prefer people that just transparently say, I am, it's like somewhere, like I am an agent or I am a broker with EXP, and all my pages are going to be designed to get you, to talk to you about EXP. But I think
KV, they got bought out recently. About a year ago. Like Bold Leads and Real Geeks. There's been a lot of buying out lately.
There's always a lot of buying out.
But it's still a pretty good product. Obviously, I think honestly, I think with the new updates I've done with Mailrite and the way we're going with the product, I think I'm ending up with a superior product. A very windy road, but I honestly do believe that. But it's still a pretty good product. I think they've tried to push it a lot onto brokerages and have been doing a lot of deals. That's placed a fair bit of strain on their support resources, and I've heard from some brokers that it's not been great. The support has deteriorated, where beforehand they had a pretty good reputation for their support, didn't they, Robert?
I actually don't know. I don't recall them having a great reputation. I've never.
I might be talking absolute bullshit then, might
I? I've always had people say that conversion was hard to use.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't say it's the easiest one to use, would you?
Yeah, that's my recollection. I'm not. Please, everybody, take that with a grain of salt. I like to do facts and figures, and right now I'm not. I'm literally just relying on my memory conversations I've had, and maybe I'm just shading that with like a personal opinion, and I shouldn't be.
No, I would agree. I've been talking to an agent that was offered it through their brokership, and they were offered a fantastic deal. And they spent literally 3 weeks going through all the training videos, webinars, all the stuff. And they were still mightily confused about the whole thing. And this agent is an idiot. So my practical knowledge of it, you're about right, Robert.
Okay. So here's what I have to say about like what you could theoretically do for 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 on this list. So if which is like login conversion, create a list of existing links. What they're basically doing here is telling you to start your digital marketing plan. And I agree with that 100%. When you've decided that you're going to be an agent, and even before you have your license, you should be mentally and physically preparing yourself for your new career. That could include setting up some digital media profiles. My off-the-top recommendations would be a Google My Business page and an Instagram account. That's what I would do if I was getting into the business right now today. You could also do some research on what effective content creation is looking like. I'm going to give you a handful of resources right now, which I've given you already, but I'm going to give you again. Go look up Joyce Ray and her Instagram account. Go look up Christoph Chu and his YouTube account. These are established agents who do an excellent job in these 2 particular mediums, and you can simply copy some of the stuff that they do, and you don't need to be a genius to just do that. You can also look up Ryan Serhant. He's an expert at Twitter. He's real good on the Twitter feed, so you can look at him for Twitter. And you could look at the Altman brothers for a little bit of all of these things, though I think that their branding game is a way out of reach for most of you. So probably just look at them for some maybe ideas, because they also have gotten very creative over the years. So that's my stuff right there. And then last but not least, don't pick a mentor, even somebody that might seem out of reach, and come up with a plan on how you're going to secure their help. I agree 100% with the mentor bit of this. And then last but not least, guys, this is the funny thing to me about any business these days. Check out a full lineup of classes. Guys, just go to Udemy or go to YouTube. You can get everything you need for $20 or less. I promise you. Like finding classes in today's world on almost any topic is a ridiculously easy process. My 257 video course thing for NLP, I got off Udemy for $20, and I own it. And I can also learn how to be a web developer, which I purchased for $20. Like what you can get and how much you spend. And these are excellent courses taught by experts. Just don't spend too much money. Spend very little money and be willing to invest your time. That's my comments on this list. Sorry, John.
Yeah, no problem. I've got a good resource for you, listeners and viewers. And will be viewers now in our bonus content. If you want to learn how to do your videos, obviously you can do a lot of this using iPhone or Android. But if you want to up your game a little bit more, I've got a fantastic YouTube resource. Put in Think Media. The people behind this go through everything to do live, all the equipment, all the things you need to do really decent live video. They cover everything. Actually, Chris, who's the guy behind Think Media, came on my other podcast. He's a great guy. He's a leading YouTube personality. I think he's got 500,000 followers on his YouTube channel. But they cover literally everything you need to know about doing video, live video, cameras, every part of it. So you really want to, because doing video and live video, if you want to be an effective real estate agent, is really important now. What do you reckon, Robert?
I agree. Couldn't agree with you more on the video bit. Guys, that's excellent advice. I hope you take it.
Right, we'll be back next week where I'll be plugging Mercenary some more. Rob, I think I'll get top marks for this episode, though. We'll see you next week, folks. Bye.
Bye.